Good morning, my dear students. Let us discuss about corporate legal framework. Today's contents are offer and acceptance, free consent, and capacity consideration. Offer and acceptance. Offer. An offer is a proposal made by one person to another. An offer is a proposal made by one person to another. The person making offer is known as offerer or proposer or promiser. The offer which is making by one person is called as offerer or proposer or promiser, and the person to whom the offer is made is called offeree or promisee or propose. Here, acceptance may be defined as assent or agreement of offeree to the offer. Coming to the example, if L says to M, will you purchase my car for rupees 10,000, then he said that to have accepted L's offer. Here L says to M, will you purchase my car for 10,000 rupees? Then he said that I will accept for your offer. An offer which is made by expressing the words spoken or written is called an express offer. An offer which is made by expressing words spoken or written is called an expressive offer. An offer may also be impelled from the behavior of parties. An offer also impelled from the behavior of parties also. Thus, if APSRTC runs a bus on a particular route, it is an impelled offer. Any person may accept this impelled offer also. Offer may also be classified as a general offer and specific offer. When an offer is made to a particular person, it is called specific offer. When an offer is made to a all over the world at a large, it is also called as a general offer. Free consent is containing mainly 5 different elements: coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, mistake. Here, consent means asking the permission. Consent means asking the permission. Coming to the free consent means the meaning is different from consent and free consent. Consent means asking the permission. Free consent means here there is a contract. It should be understandable by the both parties in a similar manner. Here the situation is there. It should be understood by party A and party B in a similar manner. Coming to the first point, offer and acceptance are vital to a valid contract. Here offer and acceptance are vital to a valid contract. The acceptance of consent of the parties must be free. The absent of the acceptance or consent of parties must be free. Means here offer should be accepted and understood by both parties Party A and Party B in a similar manner. Here offer and acceptance should be understood by both parties in a similar manner. That is called free consent. Consent can be defined as an act of assenting to an offer. 2 or more persons are said to consent when they are agree upon the same thing in the same sense. Consent is said to be free. The approval of parties is not affected by. Coming to coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, mistake. Coercion is a committing or threatening to commit any act forbidden by the Indian Penal Code 1860. Coercion is a committing or threatening to commit any act forbidden by Indian Penal Code. The meaning of bidden is banned or prohibited by the Indian Penal Code. Coercion is a committing to threatening or to commit anything to do which is bidden by the Indian Penal Code IPC 1860, which is unlawful detaining or threatening to detain any property to the prejudice of any person with the intention of getting the approval of the party to a contract. When a person is compelled to enter into a contract by use of force by other party or under a threat, coercion is said to be employed. Here the contract is between two parties, party A and party B. Here party A is influencing and applying force towards another party B. So here party A is making the force on party B to enter into a contract. That is called coercion. Means that is nothing but applying force on another party and to enter into the contract. It is called coercion. Here we want to free from the coercion, then only law will support to the that particular contract. Thus committing or threatening to commit any act forbidden by the Indian Penal Code 1860, unlawful detaining or threatening to detain any property is called coercion. Coming to the second one, undue influence. Sometimes a party is compelled to enter into an agreement against his will as a result of unfair persuasion by others, such as undue influence. The meaning of undue influence is nothing but dominating nature of one party towards to another party. Here both A and B are willing to enter into contract. After entering here, one of the parties influencing means dominating on another party. That is called undue influence. By the other such cases, undue influence is said to be exercised according to section 16. Defines undue influence as a contact is said to be induced by undue influence where the relations subsisting between the parties are such that one of the parties is in a position to dominate to dominate and will of the other uses that position to obtain an unfair advantage. Here there is an unfair advantage over the other. Relations with presumption of undue influence. The following relations which raise presumption of undue influence. The following relationship usually raise a presumption of undue influence, which are guardian, ward, trustee, beneficiary, religious advisor and discipline, doctor and patient, parent and child, fiance and fiancé, solicitor means lawyer, and client. Here undue influence meaning is dominating by force. Here there is a contract between two parties, party A and party B. They are willingly entered into a contract, and now party A is influencing party B by dominating nature, by dominating the force. That is called undue influence. That is called undue influence. Presumption of undue influence. The following relationships which rise presumption of undue influence to following relationship usually raise a presumption of undue influence, which are guardian, ward, trustee, beneficiary, religious advisor and discipline, doctor and patient, parent and child, fiance and fiancé and solicitor and client. Fraud is nothing but cheating. There must be a representation and it must be false. There must be a representation and it must be false. There must be a concealment of a material fact. Here the main matter is hidden. That is called concealment. Here main matter is hidden. There must be a concealment of material fact. There is a hidden of original matter. That is called concealment, or only a partial statement of a fact such that making the stated fact false. The representation must have been made before the conclusion of the contract with the intention of including the other party to act upon it. The representation must have been made before the conclusion of the contract with the intention of inducing to the other party to act upon it. The representation or statement must have been made with a knowledge of its falsity or without belief in its true or recklessly, not caring whether it is true or false. Here some amount of information is provided here, but they don't know whether it is a real fact message or fair message or original message. Their recklessness is showing in representation of information in particular contract. The other party must have induced to act upon representation of assertion. The other party must have relied upon, the other party must be relied upon the representation of the information here. Relied means depended upon the representation, must have been deceived. The other party acting on the representation or assertion must have subsequently suffered some loss. Here another party is getting loss because of illegal behavior of one of the party in the contract. Coming to the misrepresentation. Representation is a statement of fact. Representation is a statement of fact which one party makes in the course of negotiations to another with an intention to induce the other party to enter into a contract. Representation is the statement of fact which one party makes in the course of negotiations to another with an intention to induce. Here misrepresentation means representation is a statement of fact. Representation is a statement of the fact which one part makes in the course of negotiations to another with an intention to induce. Here intentional to induce the other party. Here intentionally doing to induce the other party to enter into a contract. Representation may be expressed by words or spoken or written or implied from the behavior of the parties. A representation when wrongly made either innocently or intentionally is a misrepresentation. A representation when wrongly made either innocently or intentionally is a misrepresentation. Misrepresentation may be reasons of, there will be two different reasons: an innocent or unintentional misrepresentation. Second one, an intentional, deliberate or willful misrepresentation with intent to deceive or defraud the other party. An intentional, deliberate or willful misrepresentation with the intent to deceive or defraud the other party. Mistake. The last element of the free consent is mistake. Mistake may be defined as an erroneous belief about something. It may be mistake of law or a mistake of fact. Mistake may be defined as an wrong belief about something. It may be mistake of law or mistake of fact. Here there are two different type of mistakes: mistakes of law, mistake of fact. Coming to mistake of law, a mistake of a law of the country, a mistake of the law of the country, and mistake of law of the foreign country, mistake of law of the foreign country. Coming to the second category, mistake of fact means bilateral mistake and unilateral mistake. Bilateral mistake and unilateral mistake. Here a contract is having two different parties, party A and party B. If a mistake is happened, one side of the party of the contract is called bilateral mistake. In a contract there will be two different parties. If a mistake is happened, one side party of the contract is called bilateral mistake. If the mistake is happens both sides of the parties of contract, party A and party B, it is called unilateral mistake. It is called unilateral mistake. Capacity consideration. The contract should have the capacity and consideration. The contract should be satisfied by the capacity and consideration also. Here there is a agreement between party A and party B. Party A should be a willingness to enter into the contract. Party B also willingness to enter into the contract. They want to satisfy the essential elements of valid contract. In the same manner, these both parties should have the capacity and consideration agreement also. Here there should be a capacity and consideration also. Minus. Coming to the minus, An agreement with or by a minor is a void. An agreement with a minor is a void and inoperative. We cannot operate that contract. It is a void contract. It is a void contract. It is not at all a valid contract. He can be a promisee or a beneficiary. He can be a promisee or a beneficiary. His agreement cannot be ratified by him an attaining age of majority. Until getting majority to that person, his agreement is not enough. Is not lawful. His agreement cannot be ratified by him on attaining the age of majority. If he has received any benefit under a void agreement, if he has received any benefit under a void agreement, he cannot be asked to compensate for that. If he has received any benefit under a void agreement, he cannot be asked to compensate for it. He can always plead minority. He can always plead minority. Means he cannot ask anything. Behalf of him, any of guardian can be asked in contract. There can be no specific performance of agreement. There is no can be specific performance of agreement by a minor as they are void. There can be no specific performance of the agreements entered by a minor as they are void from starting to ending. Ab initio means from starting to ending. He cannot enter into a contract of partnership. A minor person cannot enter into a contract of partnership. He cannot be a adjudged insolvent. He cannot be a adjudged as insolvent person. He is liable for necessaries. He is liable for necessaries. He can be an agent. He can be an agent. His parents are not liable. His parents are not liable for the contract entered into by him. And person of unsound mind. Person of unsound mind. A person who is not having a proper mind means illness of mind. He is called unsound mind. Lunatics means he is not having proper mental condition. Lunatics means he is not having proper mental conditions. Idiots and drunkens means the person who is taking alcohol. Drunkens, persons expressly declared as incompetent to contract. Persons expressly declared an incompetent to contract. The meaning of incompetent means he is not having capacity. He is not having capacity. And next one, persons disqualified by the law to contract. Persons disqualified by law to contract are alien enemies. Alien enemies are not having legality chance to perform a contract. And foreign sovereigns, sovereign means administrative heads. So here foreign heads are foreign administrative heads means foreign sovereigns are disqualified by law to contract. And corporation, here corporation is one of the organization. It is disqualified by law to contract. And insolvents, the people who are not having capacity to pay of amount, such persons are called insolvents. They are also not having a chance to participate in law of contract. And convict, criminal background, the people who are having the criminal background are also not having chance in contract. Persons disqualified by law to the contract: alien enemies, foreign sovereigns, and the corporations, insolvent, convicts. Thank you, my dear students. Please subscribe my YouTube channel.